Hello, and welcome to the 139th episode of Movie and TV Talk. On this episode, I'm going to be discussing and giving my thoughts on Blue Ruin. Let's get into it. This movie starts off with this guy who looks like shit and is kind of surviving day to day. Suddenly, he gets picked up by a police officer, taken to the police station to be told that some person's being released, and our guy looks kind of distraught. But then he's back out doing normal stuff, but he's like really on edge. Drives to a prison and watches people get out of a limo and then welcome a person getting released. He then follows said people in their limo to some sort of bar/restaurant, and he like sneaks his way in and uses a knife to kill a guy in the bathroom. He then hijacks their limo. You know, this movie is just really hard to talk about the plot. He eventually visits a lady that has kids, and they go out to a fast food place, but then they run back to find the kids crying. He gets lady to leave the house, but he stays, and some guys come at night to attack, and one lands an arrow in our guy. He then goes and gets some stuff to take the arrow out, and does so. After that, he goes and meets a person he knew from like high school who just willingly gives our main character guy guns and trains him how to use them. It also mentioned that he's going after these people because these people supposedly killed his parents. Anyway, the end of the movie is him going to a house, luring people from this rival family in, kills one of them, but then some guy shows up and kills our main character. And that's it. So what did I think of Blue Ruin? I'm gonna be honest and say this is one of the most confusing movies that I've watched in a long time. But I will admit that maybe this is just one of those movies with some kind of really subtle message or some sort of really subliminal message that I'm just too stupid to realize. That is a possibility that I'm willing to admit to. This felt like a movie where they just kind of throw you into the plot without giving you any context as to anything that's happening. Here's Dwight, the main guy. He's doing stuff without the audience knowing why. Like, when we meet Lady, it was hard for me to understand the relationship between her and Dwight. In the context of the movie, I was getting vibes that Dwight was like an ex-husband from lines like, I'm sorry that I left, and that Lady has 2 kids. Also, I keep calling her character Lady because I don't remember her name, and I don't think they ever say her name. Plus, once she leaves the house, we never see her again. Her character felt like a big waste of time to me. Not until after the movie was done that I'm looking up information on the movie and found like a plot summary that said that the home that Lady lived in is Dwight's childhood home, which means that Lady is Dwight's sibling of some sort. I wish that was made more clear in the movie. I was also really confused as to this rival family because, again, not a lot of context to them. In the beginning of the movie, Police Lady just says that someone's getting released from prison, and Dwight looks a little distraught by it, and I was confused as to who it is that got released and what the relationship between Dwight and guy who just got released from prison is. It's not until later in the movie that Dwight mentions that his parents got killed, then the dots start to connect to that person who got released. Must have been the one who killed his parents. But then no, that's not the case. Yeah, Dwight ends up killing the wrong person, which is information we learned from a guy that Dwight stuffs in the trunk of his car at one point, telling Dwight that he killed the wrong guy and that the guy who did kill his parents died of cancer or something years ago. But like, rather than giving up on the rest of going after the rest of this family, he decides to kind of double down on it for some reason. The point is that Dwight goes through all of this and ends up getting killed anyway. It leaves me asking, what the hell was the point of it all? He learned after he killed the wrong guy that the right guy is already dead from other things years ago. So it's like, why not just stop? You could have lived. I don't know, man. Nothing in this movie makes sense. I also thought that the guy who gives Dwight a gun was really stupid to do that. Those guns are registered under his name and have his fingerprints all over them. So legally, this guy would get in just as much trouble as Dwight without having to kill anyone. Plus, why the hell would he not ask Dwight more questions? Imagine someone you know from like high school comes to your door asking to borrow a gun. You don't even want to ask what they need it for? A really stupid person that would legally be in a lot of trouble for helping Dwight kill people. Overall, my stance is that this movie is super confusing and doesn't give me a lot of context as to what's happening or who anybody is. Things are just happening. They didn't make me care about the characters because they don't bother with the simplest form of character development at all, at least in my eyes. Again, maybe I'm just dumb and this movie is super smart, but this is my opinion. Blue Ruin is just an average movie. That's all I gotta say, so if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.